school and high school students to this event. So you can pick up this road wherever you specifically are at in your journey here at Bear Creek. But our goal is for you all to look ahead and understand your options. More specifically, Aileta and I hope that tonight 2 things really resonate with you all. The first is our universal goal as an advising department here at Bear Creek, which is that we want to emphasize that our goal is to provide individualized advising for every student based on their strengths and future goals. This is a personal journey, and so I would encourage you all, you'll hear me say it, I'm sure you'll hear Aileta say it, please come and meet with us. That's the best thing that you can do so that we can individualize the advice that we're giving tonight, and so we can individualize the Bear Creek journey for each of you. So that's our overall department goal, and tonight we also have a specific goal. That is that we'd like to provide for you all some examples of how Bear Creek's curriculum can be shaped based on a student's strengths and their goals as well. So how have we done that? We've imagined 4 students for you. These students are not real. We actually pulled the top 2 girl and top 2 boy names for baby names for 2023. That's how we came up with these names. But we are going to use them today as examples of how you can personalize the Bear Creek journey. And we did pick these 4 types of students because they are some of the more frequent conversations that Aileta and I have with families. So they're not completely random, but they are not real students. So Liam is undecided. That means that he's starting off his high school journey here at Bear Creek, and he's not sure what he wants to study. He really has liked all of his classes in middle school, and he wants to keep his academic options open. He's also not really sure of his particular interests outside of the classroom. He's open to exploring different things, but there's nothing in particular that he's super excited about, until, of course, he talks to Mrs. Paramo, but I'll let her talk about that. Emma loves all things STEM, science, technology, and math. She's hoping to pursue a degree in something like engineering or computer science when she graduates from Bear Creek. And she wants to understand how a liberal arts education can help her pursue math, science, and technology. Noah loves art and music. He's been very involved in band in middle school, and in particular wants to take advantage of those opportunities both inside and outside the classroom in high school to continue to deepen his love of art and music. And lastly, there's Olivia. Olivia is a competitive athlete. What we mean by that is she's the type of student, maybe a gymnast, a swimmer, an equestrian, who spends 2 to 3 hours a day practicing her sport. So she loves Bear Creek, but she's a little bit worried about how she's going to fit the rigor of high school and mesh that with her already demanding athletic schedule. As a reminder, these are 4 imagined examples, but we hope that they are helpful guides to Bear Creek's roadmap. With that introduction, I'm going to turn the presentation over to my amazing colleague, Aileta, who is going to walk these 4 students, and therefore you all, through 9th and 10th grade here at Bear Creek. And then I'll come back and we'll finish up 11th and 12th grade.
Thank you, Ms. G. Good evening. We're going to then imagine that these students have been hearing around that it's about time to do course selection, and they are supposed to schedule an individual appointment with me to plan their grade 9 schedule. So they do so, and they come to my office, and we talk about what their schedule in grade 9 might look like based on the activities that they have around after school, like Ms. G described, and their goals in the future. So Liam is one of those students that is not sure what he wants to do after he graduates from Bear Creek. So what we want to do with him is build a schedule that is well-balanced, that includes all the same, rigor in courses in both humanities and science, right? So with him, we're going to we're going to call it the standard progression in science. So he starts with conceptual physics, and he's going to take geometry because that is the next course for him in math based on the math track. And then he will continue as well with Latin. This is a language that he enjoyed in middle school, so he's decided he's going to keep on that track as well. So Liam, he doesn't enjoy being on stage that much. So for his electives, he's decided to try out graphic design. He's heard that it's a fun class and the teacher is really fun as well. So he's going to try for this year in grade 9 to see how he likes it. He's going to explore that option that he hasn't done before. So in addition to that, he's going to join a couple of clubs at school, right? He's going to explore some clubs like speech and debate, and he might want to try Key Club because he's interested in also doing some community service, and Key Club is a great way to find those opportunities around the community in which he best can serve. In addition, Liam wants to do some sports at Bear Creek. So he might want to try golf. He's always been curious, never done it before, but he's curious about that. So he joins the team in the fall, and then in the spring, he is going to do track. That is his favorite sport, so he's going to do that with his friends in the spring. So with that, Liam has a very well-balanced schedule, and he is also doing some activities outside of the classroom, right? Like club activities and community service, as well as sports. That is a full balanced schedule for Liam. And that also, I lost my train of thought. And, give me one moment. Oh. Hold on. Well, he has a full schedule. Oh, I remembered. And with the PE credits, he will be also meeting that requirement by doing school sports. That's what I was going. So he's going to try out a sport, do his favorite sport, and at the same time, he'll be earning those PE credits just by doing something that he feels passionate about. So it is a no-brainer, a win-win situation for Liam in grade 9. So Emma, our STEM student, is on a different boat, right? Emma is a student that feels confident about her career choice. She knows she's very absolutely positive. She wants to pursue a career in STEM, and she is a strong student with a good track record in math and science. So as you can see, she is ready for honors pre-calculus, and because she wants to maximize her math and science courses, she's decided to skip conceptual physics and go straight into honors chemistry. And adding AP Computer Science is also another way for her to add rigor to her schedule and to complement her courses with another STEM class. At school, there are also several related clubs related to STEM, so she decides to give coding club a try. And she also decides to join the math team at Bear Creek. So she is, as you can see, very interested in STEM. Not only her courses confirm that, but also her after-school activities and her for her elective classes, she has decided to take Studio Art 1 and 2. And on all the other classes on top, there are core courses. So basically, all the students in grade 9 will take the same classes. And she's also going to stay in Latin 2, just as Liam is doing. Noah, very similar to Emma, is very confident about his career choice. He knows he wants to pursue a career in music, and his course selections reflect that. Since his passion is music, he will enroll in concert band, which is a year-long course, and because he wants to develop those musical skills. And as if that was not enough, he also is willing to commit to come very early 4 times a week and join jazz band, because that is what he loves, music. And Noah has decided to give it a try to Spanish because he wants to go on those family trips and practice his language, and he might be also planning to go on the language trip in sophomore year when he's in Spanish too. So he's chosen Spanish as his language, and he'll be pursuing that in upper school. Then we have Olivia. Olivia is basically a seasoned athlete. I would call her a 3-season athlete, which means that she is committed to her sport basically year-long, right? This is a student, like Ms. G mentioned, that might have to dedicate 2 to 3 hours several days a week, and her time after school is very limited. So she has one of the very good choices that she made is joining Study Skills on Tuesdays, so she can learn how to plan her activities and her assignments and organize her time the best way possible. She is taking also a more standard progression in terms of science and math, but she has chosen to take French 1. She is not sure about what she likes best. Does she like performing arts or visual arts? She's unsure about that. So she's decided to give both a try. So for semester 1, she's going to take photography 1, and then, which is a visual art, and then in the spring, she's going to be taking technical theater and be right here in the Performing Arts Center, learning some skills. And then she might make up her mind and pursue one or the other, or keep trying both, because maybe she might enjoy both. For Leah, we might recommend they call it the League of Gaga Club. It's a fun club for students that are active, and that way she gets to spend time with her friends during activity period on Friday, because she's so busy after school and she wants to have some fun times with her friends and be part of the community as well. So here is a great way for us to see a comparison between the 4 students that we have described. Although these 4 students are all in grade 9, as you can see, their schedules are very different. As I mentioned before, the top courses on the top half are core courses, right? Everyone in grade 9 takes those courses, but from the middle down is how we have individualized the schedules based on their strengths, their activities, and their goals. So Liam's schedule looks very different from Emma's, and Noah's, and Olivia's as well. Their schedule reflect what they like, what they enjoy, what they're planning in the future, and their lives. So, what should we think about when we think about grade 9, what should we think about, right? We have divided our focus in 3 categories: academics, summer activities, and involvement. And this is going to be true for every grade from 9 through 12th grade. In grade 9, we're going to be, in terms of academics, the very first thing we want to focus on is course selection. By making your individual appointments with meeting with me, to meet with me, you will be taking the very first step, right? Building your schedule for grade 9, choosing the best courses for you, your individual schedule. Then another way, you are already doing it. You are attending the college and academic advising events and presentations. You can either, come to us whenever you can, but also please know that we record some of our presentations. We record them. You can find them online, and if you don't know where, let us know. We'll be happy to point you to the right direction. And as especially for freshman students, when they make that transition from middle school to upper school, they are gaining a lot of independence. They are learning different building, different culture, different structure, different many things. So it's a studies, joining the study skills sessions will teach you those skills that you need to be successful in upper school: how to manage your time, how to organize yourself, right? How to study, some techniques as well for homework and study time. Highly recommend them. In the summer of grade 9, join a summer camp. It can be related to one of your an interesting class. So you might want to take a math class or a computer science class, but you may also do just a sport camp for fun and stay active. We recommend also, if you're taking a family trip, do a college drive-through. Say you're going to be in New York with your family or visiting friends, and you happen to drive by a university that is close to the place where you're staying. Just drive around and take a look at the buildings, what the students are doing, what activities you see that they're practicing around, the size of the college, etc. It's a great way to start, learning about the different alternatives out there. And it is never too early to get involved. As soon as you step foot in grade 9, get on it. One way is you'll be all part of the house, right, in grade 9, and get involved in house. Learn what opportunities they have for grade 9 students. There's many different positions, or just try to help as much as you can, either in house. Also ASB, they have some leadership positions. There is a representative for each grade, so that might be a role for you or an interesting thing to consider. Community service is super important. Not only is a graduation requirement, but it's also something that we as Christians are called to do, to serve. So I encourage you guys to start doing your community service as soon as you can. As I say during our individual meetings, I encourage you to do at least your 25 hours per year in grade 9. And again, never too early to start, and you can start actually the summer before grade 9. Those in-house college visits are an amazing opportunity to start exploring and learning about what's out there after Bear Creek, right? Every year in the fall, we have about 100 colleges come to our campus here at Bear Creek from all over the United States, just to visit us, to meet some of our students. And it's a great opportunity for all of you to learn and hear about what they have to offer. And we at the College and Academic Advising Office recommend that the freshmen and sophomore students attend at least 6 of these visits. Imagine that. It's a little portion. We have about 100. We only ask you to go visit 6. 3 that you have heard before, right? Some names that you might recognize, and then another 3 that you've never heard in your life, just to see, to learn, and to explore. In addition, we have some academic teams, like math, for instance, forensics, speech and debate, and a number of clubs. We have about, I believe it's about 35 clubs total at Bear Creek, a variety of there for different interests. So you can explore, go out to a different one every week, and see what you might want to join. So there is a common theme in all the things that I said. Grade 9 is all about exploring and trying new things. This is an opportunity to explore and see what is it that sparks passion in you. Maybe you know exactly what you want to do, but you don't know what you don't know, right? Maybe you might try something new, and you discover a brand new passion, and you go and follow that. So take the chance in grade 9 to explore and try new things, and see what happens after that. All right. Liam, Olivia, Noah, and Emma are now in grade 10, sophomore year. So Liam is now taking chemistry, like we said, is the standard progression. He went from conceptual physics to chemistry, and then from geometry to algebra 2, and then Latin 3, which is, the next step up. But now he tried graphic design, and he realized he loved it. So maybe he wants to continue on the visual arts, and because now he's curious about maybe graphic design is a good, a career in the digital arts might be a good option for him. So he wants to keep trying and continues with photography 1 and 2. In grade 10, however, he has decided to challenge himself and take 2 APs. One is on the humanities side, AP European History, and the second one is on the STEM side, right? Because he's not sure what direction he's going to take after school. So he started giving a little push on both ends. For his on the humanities side, he's taking AP European History, and then on the STEM side, he's decided to try AP Computer Science. Again, guys, this is a 0 period course, so he's very committed to taking this class. He has to be at school 4 days a week at 7 in the morning, so he really wants this. Now, Emma, she's in STEM, again, very interested in STEM, and as you see here, notice that she's taking AP Physics in grade 10, and there's another science class on where it says other courses, where Liam is taking photography 1 and 2 as an elective. Emma has decided that since she has already met her graduation requirement in arts, she's decided to double up in science because she wants to maximize her science courses, right, and challenge herself. So she's kept it a little on the regular side with English and history. She's decided she's going to keep her honors courses because she's going to press and push on the STEM side where her strengths are. So that said, she's going to take an AP Physics and Biomedicine. And so she's going to try for her elective, and to balance things out, she's going to take Technical Theater and continue with Latin 3, which is her next course after she's completed Latin 2. And this way also she will be satisfying her language requirement of 2 years in upper school, 2 years of the same language. Noah, our artist and musician, he is doing something interesting here. As you can see, he has added an AP course in humanities. He is adding rigor on the humanities side because he's an artist. He's not very strong in STEM. He's doing well, but not a great in STEM. His strength lies in on the humanities side. So that is where he's adding rigor. He's taking logic because he wants to take AP language and composition in grade 11, and he's heard that logic will give him some good skills that he's going to need in grade 11 in that class. And then he's continuing with a standard progression in science, which is from conceptual physics into honors chemistry. He has decided to take honors chemistry to add some rigor instead of taking regular chemistry, but hasn't gone, as you notice, hasn't gone to an AP in science, right? He's just taking an honors class and taking honors pre-calculus as well. And of course, this reflects his love for music and art. He is continuing with concert band and still waking up early to be here for jazz band. Then our friend Olivia. Olivia, like we said before, is very busy. So she has a lot of activities after school and gets home very late. So she's challenging herself, adding an AP class in grade 10. She's adding AP European History, which means her load after school is going to increase because her time after school is limited. We've recommended Olivia to take a study hall. That way, she can do some homework and studying during this day. So when she gets home tired after her practice, she can, have very little to do and can get some good rest. She is continuing with the standard math science progression as well, continuing with French, and of course she is an athlete. She loves working out as her elective. She has decided to do strength training both semesters, both in the fall and in the spring. So she'll be working out during the day, and that way she's earning even more PE credits. All right, here we can see all 4 of our students side to side. This schedule, the grade 9 schedule, as you can see, they are pretty good examples of their students' personalities, their goals, their strengths, right? I mean, you can see their schedules and understand how we are individualizing them, why they are different, because they meet our students' needs, each of them. And because we have different students with different needs and strengths and goals, their schedules reflect that. Ideally, very seldomly we can see two students with the same schedule. Something is going to be different because that's how our students are. All right, grade 10 doesn't vary that much, We basically recommend the same things after a school, during and after school, right? Is a course selection that is super important that we have those individual meetings so we can talk about these things and so we can choose the best courses for you. Again, attending the presentations and watching those videos on the website when you cannot make it. Something very important that happens in grade 10 is that when students have a strong GPA, they are invited to join the National Honor Society, which is a great association to be. And not only they will need a strong GPA, but remember when I said that I encourage you to do your community service hours and start early? Well, in grade 10, to be able to join the National Honor Society, you will need a minimum of 40 community service hours. The invitation comes in second semester, so ideally, if you worked hard in freshman year to complete your community service hours, and then the first semester of grade 10, most likely you will have those 48 hours or more. So that will not be a concern, and you will be able to hopefully join the NHS, which will add a great factor to your college applications as well. Again, continue doing those college drive-thrus. If you happen to be around, there are many colleges in the state of Washington, Oregon, Idaho. You know, if you happen to be visiting family, drive by and see and learn about these different colleges. Keep your community service, try out more or either the same or different clubs at Bear Creek. We have many opportunities and different activities for not only clubs, but also academic teams, like I said before, math, forensics, speech and debate, etc. And House and ASB are great opportunities to be involved at Bear Creek School. With this, we can continue with Ms. G. Our students are done with grade 10, and they should be focusing then on challenging themselves with their first AP courses. There's adding some rigor to their schedule, and invest in time, you know, in getting involved in the community, in clubs, in different activities, leadership positions, etc. Now is the time. And now they're going to go into grade 11.
All right. Half of high school is done just like that, right? All right, perfect. We lost our clock up there. Does anyone have a time for us? 7:36. All right. Sounds good. I don't want to keep you for 2 hours, and I could, trust me. Okay, so 11th grade, also known as junior year. From a college standpoint, I am the college advisor, so I have to talk about that a little bit. Junior year is significant. It is given the most scrutiny in the college application process, and the reason for that is pretty basic, which is because it's the last full year of courses that colleges will see when they're evaluating a student's application, right? So colleges will review grade 12 first semester courses, but they won't have that full year. So it's really important for students to think critically about what classes they take their junior year. It's important for students to challenge themselves academically, but also continue to invest in their activities and interests. So sometimes there's a tendency for students or families to really, really up that academic rigor, and they're like, to accommodate that, I'm gonna drop out of my sport. I'm going to stop investing in maybe my church community where I've been serving on Sundays. And I would not recommend that, right? Colleges wanna see that students are balanced, that they've challenged themselves in the classroom, but that they're also very involved in their community as well. So it's those two things balanced together. And also, it's important both from a college standpoint, but also we believe as a Christian school, good for you all as young people growing, to balance your mental, physical, and spiritual health as well. So it's important not to forget about those as you think ahead to junior year. As you saw, there's an increase in choices academically from 9th grade to 10th grade. So you saw that already for our 4 students. And you'll see additional flexibility with courses as students get into junior and senior year. This is where schedules really start deviating and looking quite different depending upon a student's interest. So most juniors at Bear Creek take biology. At some point, students will have to take a biological science to graduate. A standard progression would be taking that junior year, although it's certainly not required that that class come in grade 11. And then students will typically take their next progression in math and language. As Mrs. Promo mentioned, the minimum requirement for language is 2 years of the same language in high school. So some students may not take a language in 11th grade. It's not required, but it is strongly recommended by the advising department, by myself and Mrs. Promo. And the reason for that is a couple things. First of all, year 3 or 4, if you're taking Latin, really allows you to build on the skills that you've already learned in a language. So if you've put in that hard work, getting to the place where you can converse in that language and really engage at a deeper level, we think is valuable. Also, those language trips are very popular, and you have to be enrolled in the language to go on the language trip. Probably not a surprise. And then also some colleges require 3 years of foreign language to apply, and many more don't require it, but they strongly recommend it. And as I said in another presentation recently, if a college says they strongly recommend it, it means you should do it if you want to get in. And then the other options they have in 11th grade are AP versus honors in the humanities, so English and history. And then all of our students will take a Christian studies class, and then they'll have their choice of elective as well as rhetoric. Rhetoric is an English class. It's a semester long. It's not required, but it is recommended. All right, so let's go back to our 4 demo students here. So first of all, we have Liam. As Mrs. Promo said, he is kind of undecided. He's balancing out his interest in both STEM and humanities because he doesn't know fully what he wants to do after graduation. There's a couple things to note about his junior year. He's increasing his rigor in a few different ways. First of all, he's taking 2 AP classes again, so he's continuing to maintain some strong rigor in APs. However, oftentimes families think, or students will come and talk to me, and they think APs are the only way to show rigor on their schedule, and that's not the case. There's also a couple other things he's doing that from a college perspective increase his rigor. The first is that he's continuing with Latin. So he didn't have to take Latin in grade 11, but he's choosing to stick with his language. And he's also increasing his math level as well. He's choosing to take honors pre-calculus instead of just the general pre-calculus class. So in that way, challenging himself both in the humanities with AP language and composition and AP biology and pre-calculus in STEM. The other thing to notice is that he's taking a full 7 credits. That's a full course load at Bear Creek. So that includes a Christian studies class as well as a full year elective. So that's quite a heavy course load. He's not taking any study halls his junior year. And at this point, Liam has realized he really likes the digital arts. He's done photography and graphic design 1 and 2, and so this year he's choosing to take film and animation, which is a really cool class. It's one that I wish I had taken in high school, so good for Liam to take that, and it's a year-long course. And it requires photography 2 and graphic design 2. So working with Mrs. Promo, he set himself up to be able to take this class junior year. Otherwise, he unfortunately would not be able to take it. Emma, on the other hand, is our STEM student, as you all know at this point. So she is continuing to maximize her rigor in STEM classes at Bear Creek. She is doing 2 main things to maximize her rigor in her junior year. The first is that she's moving from 2 AP classes to 3 AP classes from grade 10 to 11. And she's also doubling up on math and science. So she's taking engineering and AP biology, and she's doing AP calculus BC and AP statistics. This is an incredibly challenging junior year course load but based on her academic track record the past 2 years, I'm comfortable saying, hey, it's going to be a tough year, but I think that you have demonstrated that you can balance that academic rigor in STEM. That said, Emma is choosing not to take any AP humanities classes, so she's doing the honors options in both English and history to give her a little bit of a balance academically. And this schedule is aggressive, as I said, but it allows Emma to be on track to complete all of Bear Creek STEM classes by graduation, which is her goal. However, due to the level of increased rigor, we would advise her to take a study hall as well. So she's taking a half-year study hall to give her some time to complete homework during the day because she has such a heavy course load. All right, Noah is also a junior now, and he is still loving band. He is still waking up early to be in jazz band and is taking an increased role in both of those ensembles. He's increasing his academic rigor by continuing to take those 2 AP classes, but he's taking those in the humanities. So he's taking language and composition and AP US history. The other way that Noah is increasing his rigor junior year is that he's taking 8 credits. So that 0-period class, that is an official Bear Creek course, so he gets an additional credit for taking that class. So he's taking more than the full course load here at Bear Creek. He's also, similar to Liam, increasing his language level and his math level as well, but he's not super passionate about science, so he's doing just general calculus, not honors, or he did not AP calculus, excuse me. And additionally, he is taking rhetoric to improve his public speaking skills. This is a class that, similar to logic in grade 10, is no longer required, but unless a student has a compelling reason why they don't want to take it, and there are compelling reasons, but unless a student has a compelling reason, we do recommend they take it in 11th grade. I always say this is the class for the student that hates public speaking and the class for the student that loves public speaking. Both types of students would benefit from taking that rhetoric class, learning how to be confident and speak persuasively and effectively in front of a room, because no matter what students do after they graduate, they will need to speak in front of people at some point in their life. All right, and then lastly, we have Olivia. As in grades 9 and 10, Olivia is still very invested in athletics, and so she too is increasing her rigor by increasing her math and language levels. So she's taking calculus and French 3, and she's taking 2 AP classes, but she's going from half-year study hall to a full-year study hall, which will give her a full class in the fall and the spring to work on her homework during the day, so that she doesn't have as much to do in the evenings because she's going to be busy. And similar to what I said, with a compelling reason to not take rhetoric, Olivia is not taking rhetoric. Instead, she's interested in Introduction to Athletic Medicine because she's thinking maybe her love for sports may translate into some sort of career as well. So she wants to learn a little bit about what it would be like to be, for example, a trainer. And Caitlin Litwin, who is our trainer here, is who teaches that class. So you can see junior year, there's a huge variation in what students can take. And that's one of the benefits of how Bear Creek has restructured our graduation requirements, is we really want to encourage students to take ownership of their academic journey here at Bear Creek and understand that they have options in the classes they take all throughout high school, but it really amps up in junior year. Outside of the classroom, we really encourage students to still be focused on course selection. So as I mentioned at the start of the presentation, rising juniors, so that's current 10th graders, for course selection will meet with me. Those appointments are actually live online right now, so any 10th graders or 11th graders in the room are welcome to meet with me at this time. And it's really important, right? Because you see all the variation, and so it's really valuable to sit down and talk to me about your goals. We can look at what you've taken previously, and I can make some recommendations and help you understand what options there are for you in grade 11 and 12. Continue those attending those presentations and events, and like I said, the individual advising meetings. As Mrs. Paramo said, nothing changes with the involvement. We still want you to be investing in ASB or in clubs or in house. There's a lot of ors in that sentence because each student is different, and what they might do and what they might want to invest in would be different. But I would encourage students in 11th grade to increase involvement in their areas of interest. So for Olivia, or a student that's interested in athletics, this may mean volunteering as an assistant coach at her gym, or working with younger children over a summer camp. For Noah, I would encourage him to get involved in our Band Buddies program. That's a program we have here at Bear Creek where high school musicians go and help support our middle school band students and help them learn their instruments. For Emma, I would encourage her to be active in seeking out leadership roles in math team and coding club, which she's been part of since her freshman year. And Liam, our undecided student, I would encourage him to continue exploring clubs and participating in house, and maybe finding ways to get involved with his arts in his graphic design in the community as well. The two big changes are the number of in-house college visits that grade 11 students, I would recommend that they take advantage of increases from 6 to 10. So if you're an 11th grader, I would encourage you to attend a minimum of 10 in-house college visits here at Bear Creek. 5 schools can be those that you know, schools that you've heard of, like University of Washington. We've probably all heard of UW in this room. And then I would encourage 5 of them to still be schools that you've never heard of before. The reason for that is it can be really easy to go and hear about colleges you already know about, but at this phase in the college journey, students should really be researching and exploring different options. And so forcing students to learn about 5 different colleges is okay if the student doesn't end up wanting to apply to those schools, but it's a valuable part of the research and education process as students progress into the senior year application process. The second change is that students in 11th grade, going into 11th and 12th grade, should really focus their summers on being productive and proactive. So looking for an internship or a pre-college program, but being more intentional about how a student spends their summer as they get to the end of their high school experience is really valuable. Additionally, we still encourage those drive-through college visits, but now instead of just driving through the campus, we would encourage you to stop, schedule an official campus tour, maybe sit in on a class if you can, and learn more about the program a little bit more intentionally. I don't necessarily recommend that families do what I call the national tour, which is, spend the summer visiting 50 colleges across the country. If you want to do that, that's okay. I'm not going to tell you don't, but it's really not necessary. You can incorporate these college visits into family trips, into places that you already are going, maybe to visit family, visit friends, or going on vacation as well. There's also a lot of local opportunities to be involved, like college fairs and colleges coming not just to Bear Creek, but to the Seattle community. So grade 11, the most important things are deepening commitments and staying focused. In the summer between 11th and 12th grade, students will also start working with me on shaping their college list. I start the college advising process in the spring or second semester of junior year. So students, by the time they get to senior year, will have a pretty good idea of where they're applying to college. All right, that takes us to senior year. Our 4 students are finishing out their Bear Creek experience. So Liam, he has now found his niche. He went from being undecided to understanding that he really loves the digital arts. So senior year, he's taking advanced digital arts and yearbook as well. So he's doubling up on an area of passion. He's also finishing out 4 years of science and math, as well as finishing out 5 years of language by completing Latin 5. So basically, Liam is graduating from Bear Creek with a very comprehensive liberal arts education that's balanced between STEM and humanities classes, but he's also found a little bit of a niche in those digital arts. Emma still loves STEM. She is now finishing out Bear Creek's final STEM classes and has achieved her goal of maxing out our math curriculum and science as well. So she's taking multivariable calculus, which is the highest level of math you can take here at Bear Creek. And she's also taking AP Environmental Science and AP Chemistry. So she will have completed all 4 AP Science classes at Bear Creek. But similar to junior year, as an advisor, I would be concerned about the level of rigor of Emma's senior year schedule. So I've advised her to take half a year study hall so that she has some time and space to work on college applications and finish senior year strong. Noah is finishing out his time here at Bear Creek the way he started it in high school, which is being involved in band, both in concert band and in jazz band as well. However, he's very excited because he is taking AP Music Theory his senior year, which is a class we offer every other year at Bear Creek. He is working to complete most of his college applications over the summer because of that heavy senior load. And I would say to Noah, hey, you can sign up for these classes, but let's check in the first couple weeks of school and see how senior year feels. And if your schedule feels a little bit too heavy, why don't we plan to drop one of those AP classes? So maybe he ends up dropping that AP Statistics class, for example, and taking a study hall instead. And lastly, Olivia. So as a recruited athlete, Olivia is going to be missing a good amount of school in the fall, especially on Fridays, because she'll be doing recruiting visits at Division I colleges. So we want to make sure she has a senior schedule that facilitates her completing her classes, finishing strong at Bear Creek, but also making sure that she has that space to do well at her recruiting visits. She is challenging herself by taking a full 7 credits her senior year, and this is also making sure she stays on track for Division I eligibility for her sport moving forward into college. So all 4 seniors are taking varied schedules to complete their Bear Creek journey, but all of them have found a way to maximize Bear Creek's offerings for what they have been interested in pursuing over the past 4 years. Outside of the classroom, senior year is all about college apps, college apps, college apps, especially in the fall. So that's what most seniors are going to be working on. And I love that time of year because I get to work incredibly closely with each senior and each family on those college applications. Sometimes I have parents say, I'm worried if my child is going to be on track with their applications. Don't worry, I will make sure they are on track. I'm here to support all the students as they walk through their college process, which for each student is as unique and as individualized as this academic advising process that we've just talked about. On the college visit front, now students should be in the fall attending every visit. If a school comes to Bear Creek and the student wants to apply to that school, they should go to that visit. So that's how seniors will decide how many in-house college visits they attend. It's important for seniors to continue to stay invested in clubs and programs here at Bear Creek. And if needed, hopefully, seniors will have heeded the good advice of Mrs. Paramo and will have completed their community service and athletics credits, as well as fine arts credits in grades 9, 10, and 11. But if not, seniors will need to complete those credits to graduate. And then, of course, the most exciting thing senior year is students will pick their college and they will graduate. So grade 12 is all about planning your future and finishing strong. So now Liam, Emma, Noah, and Olivia have completed their 4 years at the Bear Creek Upper School. And they're graduated, and hopefully we have set them up well for their future goals. As I said at the start of this presentation, these students do not exist. They are figments of Mrs. Prama and my imagination, but based on conversations we have with families. But we recognize that our students here at Bear Creek are even more dynamic in their interests and even more varied in how they want to navigate their high school experience here at Bear Creek than these students. So we hope that this gives you a taste of the various offerings for students inside and outside the classroom here at Bear Creek. But again, it goes back to that individual advising because we have such a vibrant community here at Bear Creek, and Mrs. Prom and I want to be part of helping our students navigate that path and also their individual path at Bear Creek. So what we did today is with imaginary students, but we put the same level of effort, actually a lot more effort, into guiding each of you as real, live, breathing students from Bear Creek through grade 8 and through graduation as well. So please schedule a meeting with us to discuss course selection. That's happening right now. So rising 9th and 10th graders with Mrs. Promo and rising 11th and 12th with myself. We are here to help support students and families all year long. And with that, we left a couple minutes for Q&A. So Mrs. Promo will come back up. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we're happy to take those questions now. Does anyone have questions? Or we answered them all? That's a good question. Just being a member does not count. The question was, does Key Club count for community service hours? Just being a member does not, but through Key Club, there's a lot of different events that you can take part in that are community service opportunities, and those would absolutely count for those hours. Yeah.
But also being a member of Key Club is something that you get to say when you apply to college as well.
Good question. Anything else?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so the question is essentially, how do we map a student's personality onto what they're interested in doing after college as maybe a major or career, and then how do we also pair that with the colleges that they want to apply to? The answer to all of that is yes. So we work with students in, ILATA works with students in 9th and 10th grade on really thinking through their academic interests and what they're enjoying here at Bear Creek. We also use a series of basically some aptitude tests as well for students to take that help give them some guidance on what careers may align with their particular working style, their personality and temperament, all those pieces. So that's what we're really setting them up for, 9th and 10th grade. And then in 11th grade, as they start thinking about college specifically, yes, I will meet with the students and the families. I will hear what they're interested in. And for some students, they remain undecided. They don't know what they want to major in. For other students, they have a good idea. And so those conversations will shape the types of colleges that I recommend students apply to. I'm doing those Rising Senior meetings right now, and I give every student a personalized list, so it's not a template, it's personalized, of anywhere between 20 to 40 colleges to look at that I base on the information that they provide for me. And then I also teach them, I give them fish, but I teach them how to fish as well. So I talk to them about how to look for colleges that meet their goals. Yeah. Any final questions as we wrap up? All right, Mrs. Prama wants to say one more thing.
Okay, so one last message that I want to give you all is that grades 9 and 10 are, imagine that you're building a house and then you're building that foundation, right? Building that strong foundation in terms of academics, choosing the right courses, building your community, choosing activities that will give you some good skills and complement you as a whole. And then, once that foundation is built, in finishing grade 10, then you get to put all those specific details and finishes to polish and make it unique, right? And that to me is grade 11 and 12 is when you will differentiate, where you will blossom and make yourself unique based on, because it's when you have the most opportunities to choose from in terms of courses and activities, etc. So think of it that way. Grade 9 and 10, focus on building your foundation, get those amazing grades, get a strong GPA, and then from after that, we're going to decorate and blossom and make your house beautiful.
I love that analogy. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate it for coming out. We will stick around, so I know sometimes people have individualized questions that they prefer not to ask to the full audience, so we will hang out back, and if you do have a question, we'd be more than happy to answer it. Once again, thank you all for coming tonight, and we look forward to meeting with you individually soon. Thank you all.